Good evening. You're listening to the Modern Mystic Radio Show. My name is Saira. We're on A1R Psychic Radio, the world's #1 psychic radio network, and Moonstruck TV. I hope you're all having a fantastic week so far, and please stay tuned. We've got some fantastic shows coming up later on tonight and also during the week as well. So last week I talked about a window into my world, giving you really quite a thorough overview of my development so far, how it started off, etc., etc. So I'm kind of staying on a similar theme tonight and talking about what it's like to be a psychic, to give you more insight into how a psychic works, or primarily how I work as well. And there will be variations with different psychics. We all work slightly differently. But I want to kind of give you as much detail as I can about how a psychic actually works. So within a reading, what I'll do is really open up my senses. So I'll start by opening up my chakras. Okay, so that makes me sort of really open to anything that kind of comes through. And then I start working with different senses. So sometimes I will feel something, physically. Okay, and this is coming in through my solar plexus chakra. Okay, so if I'm perhaps channeling a spirit, it may very well be, I experience a physical symptom that they may have had either before passing or, something to verify, who we are actually talking about. Also, what I tend to get, and it comes in, it's like a piecing together a great big jigsaw puzzle. So, I may get physical sensations. I may get emotions as well. I get emotions quite heavily within my readings. And also what I can get are symbols coming in as well. Okay, so even though I am a natural psychic, I do also use tools as a way for me to focus, and that is primarily what they are there for. So what I don't tend to do is give you necessarily the meanings of the cards as such. I do know them obviously, but it's not something that I do. It's like I tune into the energy of the cards and into the energy of the person to be able to actually deliver whatever message is coming through intuitively, not from the cards. I do hope that makes sense to you. And what I'll also get as well is dialogue as well coming through. So as I tune in to your energy, I may get a symbol. This is how it all starts for me. I may get a sensation, a symbol, and then off I go, off I fly. And then it kind of is really heavily influenced then by my spiritual guides, and they will kind of give me the information that person needs at that particular point in time. And there are various different ways. So they can give me, like I said, a symbol or a picture or an image, or what they can do is actually use my knowledge bank and refer me to back to a situation that I'm familiar with, or back to a person that I may have known, and give the detail in that way. Okay, so they will work with you in a variety of different ways. I have been primarily taught by my spiritual guides. So it's not like I've gone on reams and reams of courses to sort of develop my skill. Like I said, I've been doing it for 27 years now. So they've had a long time to teach me. So even though you can't necessarily see me pick up, you can't see these senses working, and this is how it's actually working for me. So I'll work with my solar plexus, I'll also work with my heart chakra, I'll work with my third eye and my throat as well, all of them practically. But like I said, it's like getting bits and pieces of information through and then piecing them together so I can deliver them to you. So also what we need to clarify here is within a psychic, we work with our central nervous system as well. So we're quite sensitive and we're quite, how can I put it, we're quite prone to issues around the central nervous system as well. So we have, I would say, a different central nervous system to the average person, because we're using it for our, for the way in which we work, to be able to conduct all of that. Okay, so let's just have a little look as well, because I have written some notes as well. Okay, so another thing that a psychic will do is to step into another person's energy. Okay, so when I'm working, I will pick up all these different energies and sensations and symbols and what have you, piece them all together, and then I kind of step into your energy to see what's really going on here with you. And I can also do that with somebody else in your life. So if you've got a question like, how is somebody feeling about this, or what's going on with them, I can step into their energy through you, through the method of a reading, and actually gather what is going on within their energy field and their emotions as well. I can also remote view. So this is kind of where I project my consciousness into another location, and this can be quite useful in terms of being able to picture where somebody is going to be moving or perhaps working, and seeing what's around them in that particular place. So that's another area in which I work. I am today taking 2 callers, so I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully being able to demonstrate a little bit more about how I work. So we'll wait for those to come through, but in the meantime I'll just carry on and tell you also, going into more detail in how a reading works. So although I'm picking up all of this information, I'm also communicating with my guides, and quite often it will be full-on dialogue that I'm getting. It's almost like I kind of get my own voice in my mind or in my head starting to speak. Okay, and then I simply repeat, and then it just flows. It's not like I'm repeating; it's just coming out. So that's how I work with my guides. But also, and if you are a budding psychic, it's also worth remembering that as you are building your communication with your guides, and gaining that dialogue with them, it's useful to be able to ask to step into that person's energy, and really look at what they would like to know and what is going to be useful to them. Number one, your guides will give you what is right for that person, but it's, how can I put it, it's a case of learning to work with them and being able to direct them and say, right, okay, so what's happening with this situation? What's going to happen here, and what's going to happen there? And who are they going to meet? And what do they look like? And how is this meeting going to come about? All these different questions I will be asking my guides as I'm doing the reading. So that way I am sure in my mind that person is getting as much as they possibly can from the interaction that we've got. So it's very much a 3-way communication. I've got the person that I'm reading for, obviously I'm relaying the information over, and there we have the spiritual guides as well coming into the whole equation, making the whole thing work. So I do hope that has explained a little bit more about how a psychic works. Okay, so we have Amy in Vallejo, California. Hi, Amy. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on to the show. Do you have a question for me tonight?
I kind of want to know where things are going to go with my career and love life in the near future.
Okay, let's have a look at that for you. I'm going to give the cards a bit of a shuffle, and let's just see what I've got. I'm going to pull out a few cards for you. All right, let's have a look and see what I get here with this. Right, so just tuning into the energy that's around you and has been around you, I want to say over the last couple of years or so. I get a lot of turbulence here with you. So I feel like things have not gone as you would have liked them to be. And I feel like that I've got this almost like a fear around you that things are still going to continue in that way. I feel here, see, love is being really highly reflected here for you. And there is a need, I feel, to be in a more balanced situation. Are you in a relationship at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel here it needs a shift, it needs a change in order for you to get the movement in it. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not moving with the relationship, and I feel like I've got things very much up in the air. Okay, but I also feel here there is I want to say quite a genuine, strong connection, but I feel like I've got a battle of wills going on here as well. So I feel like your partner is, I feel quite a stubborn person. Does that make sense to you?
I'm sorry, what?
I feel like your partner is quite a stubborn person, quite a difficult person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I said, this needs to shift and this needs to change. I'm just going to see what else I've got coming in here for you. Right, and see how I can navigate around that relationship situation as well. Now, there's something here coming in around your birth month. So when is your birth month?
January.
July. Okay, so that's been
No, January.
Sorry, January. Okay, I'm getting that's quite a strong time for you if I'm looking at work, okay? I get definitely a door opening at that particular point in time, but I'm also being drawn towards around September here for you as well, because I feel like it's almost like I kind of want to pick you up and place you somewhere else within your career, within your work. So are you thinking of moving your job here?
I lost my job a while back. I'm trying to decide, and I have an injury, so I've been trying to decide whether to go back or stay off a horse.
Okay. I'm getting the month of September around it, and I feel here this is where I've got you moving forwards. Okay. So I want to say for the time being, I feel like I've got you really looking at which direction you're going to find most fulfilling, or what's going to work for you primarily. But I do feel like I have got you going back into work, but I feel like I've got you being somewhere else, okay? So I feel like I've got a new opportunity coming in here for you that is going to be so much more positive than what you've experienced before, okay? So I get doors opening, but I also get progression coming in around that. I feel like it's almost like been necessary for you to be taking some time out to really gather how you want your life to look, if that makes sense. Picturing yourself in the ideal situation, because I feel here as we sort of step into this next month, or we already are in August actually, so as we step into this month a little bit more, I feel here you're going to have a clearer idea of exactly how you want things to change. The relationship itself, even though I've got this up in the air kind of feeling with it, I do feel I've got you getting what you want at the end of the day. But what I'm being shown here is that it is a case of being really quite firm and clear and consistent and not backing down here with this other person, because we have got this incredibly sort of like stubborn nature around them. And I want to say here, almost like that, a little bit of a sort of a one-sided or selfish point of view. Okay, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to say by the time we get to October of this year, I feel like you are in a much better place, both within work and also within your relationship as well. And what I'm being shown with the relationship is I get a relatively slow turnaround here. So we haven't got like an overnight transformation. This is taking a little bit longer than that, okay? But I do feel like I have got you in a happier place there within that relationship. I don't feel like it needs to necessarily break down. I don't feel like you need to necessarily leave that relationship. I have got it working out, but it needs compromise from your partner's point of view. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or from your partner's side, yeah? Because I feel here that you keep on, it's like you're bending over backwards, I feel. And I just don't get any give on their side. And you can't keep on doing that, otherwise it's going to be very one-sided. The more you bend over backwards, the more you compromise. It's just going to get more and more, how can I put it, outweighed, if that makes sense. So I feel here that the balance needs to shift right back. Not so it's in your favour completely, okay? But it's a little bit more equal, and you are getting more from that relationship and that sense of, again, movement with the relationship, because I feel like it does need to do that. I feel like it's been standing still for a little bit too long. But I do feel here we've got genuine emotions and genuine feelings around the relationship. It's not the easiest of relationships, I have to say, but I feel that you will be able to make it work. Okay, you happy with that?
Yeah, it's dead on.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. And stay tuned because we've got some wonderful shows coming up as well. Okay, so we're going to go straight on to our next caller. And we have Nicole in White Plains, New York. Hi, Nicole. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Do you have a question for me tonight?
Sure. I guess, I don't know what, like, topics you specialize in, or if it's anything.
Yeah, I mean, whatever sort of is most pressing, for you, we can have a look at. Is there any particular area of life that you want me to look at for you, or?
Well, for me, it's love and career. Those are like the two issues that I'm having right now.
Right. Okay. Let's just have a look and see what I've got coming in for you. Okay. Right. I feel quite positive as I look at your future when I'm going into the work area here for you. With the relationship area, I feel like that's a little bit more complicated. I feel it's like you're at a stalemate. You just don't know what to do for the best with this situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess I'm in love with someone, but it's very complicated.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like the whole situation, the whole energy around this is really beginning to drag you down. You don't know whether to walk away. You don't know whether to stick with it. I actually feel, looking at it, I actually feel you've got a soul connection with this person.
Yes.
And I feel that that's what is so difficult to walk away from. I feel like you've already tried to walk away from it because how can I put it? Because you can't necessarily get this thing to work because of the complications around it. I just get this feeling of how can I put it? Just almost like a grief-stricken energy here around this. So on one hand, you know, it's kind of torturing you. But on the other hand, I feel here that when you do have the opportunity to grasp some time with this person or a connection with this person, it's just really, really, it's so powerful. Okay, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Now, I feel what I'm being told here with this one is there are things that are going to be happening around this situation or around their life, this other person's life, that are yet to occur, that I feel will free up some energy around your connection. Because I don't feel, even though, see, I don't feel here that you're supposed to walk away from it, even though it's incredibly complicated and your logic is probably telling you that is what you should do. We've definitely got a head and heart conflict around this, okay? So your head is saying, you know, walk away, this is doing you no good. But your heart is just, it can't do that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah? Well, like I said, we have got things happening here within their life. Are they with somebody at the moment or something like that?
I'm sorry?
Are they with someone else at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. It's almost like you've got to wait to see, because I feel like that relationship is not as strong, if that makes sense. It's not as strong. And I feel here that your relationship actually, I feel, does have legs, it does have scope. I get it as quite positive, but I feel like he's got to make some change, or your partner's got to, the person in question, should I say, has got to make some changes in their life to allow for your connection to go forward. Because, I do feel here, this is not just, it's not your imagination. There is a real connection between the two of you. If I quickly look at work as well for you, now looking at this, I feel, I feel here I've got a new opportunity coming in for you. I get a job offer coming in, and something that is going to enable you to, how can I put it, go that next stage, go further than what you've been previously able to do. Have you been thinking about moving your job or changing here?
Yeah. Well, I don't have a job right now, so I've been trying to get one.
I have got a job offer for you coming in.
I'm sorry?
I have got a job offer for you coming in. I feel like I've got an interview. I've got the firm offer coming in. So I want to say here, we just have a look around timing where I get drawn to. I feel like I've got it coming in this month for you.
Yeah, in August, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming in this month, but I do like the feel of it. I feel like this is going to meet your requirements. I feel like you need to have it really clear in your head, just what you want, just what you need, and put that energy out there. Don't necessarily be specific in, it happening in the exact areas. Just what do you need? What do you actually need? So, what do you need it to pay you? Where do you need it to be? What kind of setup would you like? Okay, and allow the universe to kind of deliver that to you. Okay, I feel here you're literally on the cusp of actually achieving that. But I also feel here that next job that you go into is a good move. Okay, I get with this a step up and a natural pathway, developing here. So not something that is going to fall apart at all. I get you being there for quite a considerable amount of time here. Okay, is there anything else you would like to ask?
As far as love goes, do you see him and I being together and spending more time together, like this year or even this summer, or if you can give me any time frame for that.
Let me just have a look for you, and I'll just be able to have a quick look. So what do I get around time frame with this? Right, I have got you spending time together, absolutely. I get with this almost like stolen moments if I look at the summer for you. I get more time spent together sort of September, October time. Okay, so in about a month. But it is definitely there. It's definitely there. You may just have to be patient. Like I said, there are things going on in his life that I feel you've got to wait to happen before you can move forward and you can have that time with them as well. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. So, like, most likely nothing in August?
No, there will be, because what I was saying, I do get some time, but it's minimal. It's not as much as what I'm getting here over September and October for you. But there is.
Okay.
There is. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You take care.
Okay,
right, so that is nearly the end of my show. So if you want to get hold of me, my website's www.modern-mystic.co.uk. Also have a Facebook page, which is Mystic Saira and Modern Mystic. And I do a weekly free reading session at 8 p.m. on a Thursday. That's UK time. So if you want to get hold of me through that, or want to get hold of me for a private reading, I am available, for Skype readings if you cannot get through or get hold of me or come to see me in person. So I hope you have enjoyed the show. I hope you've enjoyed the insight into a psychic's world. And I will see you this time next week. Take care for now.